talk about smart manufacturing, there's this one fundamental shift in communication that honestly changes everything. It's kind of the secret sauce that takes a factory from just being, well, a factory, to being truly intelligent. Today, we're going to break down that exact difference, state versus event. And to really get our heads around this, let's start with something super simple. Okay, imagine you're waiting for a friend to get home so you can finally go out. How do you figure out the exact moment they've walked through the door? Well, you've really got two options, right? There's method one. You could be that person who calls them over and over and over again. Are you home yet? How about now? Or there's method two. You just wait for them to send you one simple text that says, I'm home. One way is super annoying and a total waste of time, and the other is just smart. And believe it or not, this exact difference is right at the heart of how factories work. So that first method, the one where you're basically blowing up your friend's phone, that's exactly how a ton of traditional factories get their information. It's a process called state polling. And state polling is pretty much what it sounds like. You have a main computer system that has to go around and poll every single machine, one by one, asking for its status. Are you on? Are you running? What's going on? It's this never-ending loop of questions, just pulling information bit by bit. The whole process looks a little something like this. The main computer asks machine A for its status, and then it has to wait for a reply. Once it gets that, okay, great. Now it moves on to machine B, asks the same thing, waits again, then on to machine C. You get the idea. It's slow, it's one at a time, and it never, ever stops. Here's a perfect way to picture it. Think about that classic three-color status light you see on a factory machine. With polling, the system is literally asking that light over and over, are you red right now? Okay, are you yellow? Are you green? It only knows what's happening at the exact split second that it asks the question. And this way of doing things, it has some serious drawbacks. For one, it puts a massive load on the main system. It's just always busy. And second, the data is never truly real-time. There's always a bit of a lag. But here's the biggest problem. You can miss stuff. If a machine throws an error for just a fraction of a second right between the polls, the system might never even know it happened. It's gone forever. Okay, enough of that. Let's talk about a much, much smarter way of doing things. This is like getting that one simple, perfect text from your friend. Welcome to the world of event triggers. An event trigger completely flips the script. Instead of the main system having to constantly ask for info, the machine itself gets proactive. When something important actually happens, the machine sends out a single direct message. It's basically like a push notification from your phone. And the process is just so much cleaner. A machine finishes a job, or maybe it detects an error. Bam! It immediately packages that info into a message and sends it right to the host system. There's no waiting, no polling, just clear, direct communication. And that's really the key here. The machine becomes an active player in the whole process. It's not just some passive thing waiting to be asked questions. It's an intelligent asset that reports the news the second it happens. And the benefits? They're enormous. The system load just plummets because the main computer isn't busy asking a million useless questions. The data you get is perfectly accurate and totally real time. You never miss a critical event, and the whole network is just used way more efficiently. So just to make this crystal clear, let's put these two methods right up against each other head to head and see how they really stack up. This chart breaks it all down beautifully. State polling is a pull system. The host is always pulling data. That means high load, lag, and a big risk of data loss. Event triggers, on the other hand, are a push system, low load, real time, and way more reliable. Now there is a trade-off. The machine itself has to be a little smarter, maybe with its own little computer or an IPC. But in return, your main system gets to be much simpler and way more powerful. Look, this isn't just some tiny technical detail. This is the foundational difference between a traditional factory and a truly smart one. Let's talk about why this matters so much. A traditional factory that uses polling? Sure, it can tell you if a machine is running right now. But a smart factory built on events, it can tell you why a machine stopped, exactly when it finished a cycle, and maybe even predict when it's about to fail. This event-driven way of thinking is what makes things like advanced automation, predictive maintenance, and real AI possible. So why should you care about this? Because making this shift from thinking in states to thinking in events is what really unlocks efficiency. It's what gets a facility ready for the future. It's all about making your factory responsive and intelligent, not just something you check up on every now and then. I love this quote because it sums it up perfectly. Think of it this way. State is just a passive snapshot of what the machine looks like right now. But an event is the active story of what just happened to it. One is a photograph, the other is a news headline. So as we wrap this up, this is really the big question to think about for the future of manufacturing. Do we want systems that can only give us a passive status report? Or do we want systems that are smart enough to tell us their story as it's actually happening? That, right there, is the power of thinking in events. Thanks for tuning in.